That's right. Here we go again. Dr. Quack Podcast on the air. Oh my God. Yeah. Just feel like rocking out a little bit today. I'm telling you, music soothes the soul better than anything you can imagine. Well, I've got a lot of things I want to cover today on this week's episode, so I might as well get into it. First things first, though, I want to say congratulations to Governor Larry Hogan being the first Republican, I believe, since 1958, I believe it was, 57. Somebody's going to correct me on the stat checker. I know it. But it's somewhere in that area to actually get reelected in the state of Maryland. That is not an easy task. Anybody who knows Maryland, they know that is not something that you can easily do. So congratulations on that. It's good to see. As you can see, I've got my shirt on here, so we're going to be talking some football. So here, let me break down. Let me get into the beginning of this here. We've got one of the dumbest moves. I'm still trying to figure it out. It happened earlier this week, a few days ago. Adam Gase is now the head coach of the Jets. If people who don't know, Adam Gase was the coach for the Dolphins. He was the head coach. He got fired. Had really bad seasons. I think he made the playoffs once down there, and all of a sudden now, he's now the head coach of the Jets. And if you watch the press conference, it was great. It was all like, just staring around. I swear, maybe he saw a taco. Maybe there was a fly in the room. Who knows? But it was like, wow, that is the epitome of what you're not supposed to do in the NFL. You're not supposed to hire coaches like that. Of course, the Jets will still be crappy. I can almost feel that one. So, there's that. And then there's my plus move. Okay. This one gets my big star move. It's just my super thumbs up here. Gary Kubiak, the Vikings offensive coordinator. This guy, he's been a head coach and offensive coordinator. I mean, he was with the Houston Texans at one point, the Baltimore Ravens. Really knows the offenses and knows how to make a quarterback go from looking good to great. This guy, I mean, he even helped Flacco's career out, which that's amazing. Where is Flacco going this year? That's a whole nother story. I don't know where. I'm waiting to see here in the offseason. But Gary Kubiak, yeah, that gets my thumbs up, seal of approval as far as, moves made this week. So here we go. Speaking of controversy, we always got controversy in this stuff. Got Carson Wentz, Nick Foles. According to reports, they don't know which one to keep because they only can keep one. I mean, you look at it, let's see. You've got Carson Wentz, who's obviously been one of the great regular season quarterbacks. Twice now in 2 years has been put on injured reserve. Twice. 2 times. Injured reserve. And then you have Nick Foles, who, he's had his career journeyman, but yet last year he won a Super Bowl. This year he took him to the playoffs. He got up there into the divisional championships, took it to New Orleans, in a really close game. Ended up winning it, losing it there, but it was a close game. So who do you keep? I mean, that's my big poll question for today. So if anybody feels like commenting on that, please let me know. If it's my opinion, I'm going to say you keep Nick Foles. I really feel like if you want the more consistent winning quarterback and less injury prone, it's going to be Nick Foles. But this is going to be interesting to see. I can't wait to see what they do on that. I'm telling you, this offseason's already getting huge. Oklahoma's star quarterback there entering in the NFL draft. There's a lot of players getting ready to come into this one. This is going to be, definitely a interesting off-season. So, continuing on, we've got, the AFC Championship game. Let's talk about that here. Yeah, Patriots, Chiefs. I was talking to one of my friends, and I said 3 words. -9 degrees. That is the projection this weekend for what they are supposed to be having as far as weather. That's pretty cold. So, how was Kansas City doing real well? Let's see. They had a really strong running game until Kareem Hunt got suspended and kicked off the team. Yeah, their other guy, he's not bad, but he's no Kareem Hunt. It's guaranteed there. Let's see. Known for their crowd noise. Well, you can imagine -9 degrees. People are going to be covered all over. Could you imagine trying to scream like this? You can't hear as well. So, trying to do that in -9 degree weather is going to be difficult. Crowd control. Aerial attack. Aerial attack is going to suffer huge. And usually, as they always say, who's the best all-time winning cold weather quarterback? Tom Brady, dude. Tom Brady. Back in his days, won as low as 8 degrees. And this is going to be -9. It's supposed to be a test. Actually, I'm sorry. There was one less. 4 degrees right there in 2003. That's incredible to be able to throw the ball, accurately with some distance in the cold, in the snow probably. That one's going to be a really good game. I'm pulling for the Patriots. I am, of course. What did you expect, right? In reality, I don't know if they're going to win it. It's going to be a real tight game. I'm going to say Patriots right now. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say probably a 33-30 game. I see a lot of rushing touchdowns. Sony Michel last week. Speaking of which, Sony Michel over there running the ball in several times. Looking good. That man is definitely going to be a force to reckon with for the next couple of years. Kansas City, of course, they thumped the Colts. That was an embarrassing game. Did the Colts even show up? Did the Chargers even show up? Either one of these guys, it's like, nope. They said, we're going to pack our stuff and leave. So that leaves the AFC Championship game. It's definitely must-see television this week. That game especially. Other people saw about the NFC. We've got the Saints. We got the Rams. In of course, the Dome over there in New Orleans. Drew Brees, considered probably... most people are going to put him inside their top 10 all time. I will too. I think I'm going to put him probably there, 7, 8, depending on how you ranked him. I'd really had to sit down and think about it, but definitely top 10, greatest all time. The guy holds all the passing records in the NFL. He don't have as many rings, as some others like Brady and Roethlisberger, and others, but I'm telling you, one of the all-time greats. At least he got a ring, right, Dan Marino? Yeah. So, we got that. And then we got, Sean McVay over here. Jared Goff. Yeah. Got them them Rams going out there, seeing what they can do. There's the young offensive coordinator. The one guy. Everybody else, if you look at, head coach. You look at the other 3 head coaches, they're over 50. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm still getting over that cold, I'm telling you. Young head coach there. You don't see that often going against veteran leadership. Sean Payton, with Bill Belichick and Andy Reid on the other side. This one here, I think the Saints win it. And I think the Saints win it convincingly. I really do. I can see at least a touchdown beatdown. I don't think the Rams are going to be able to cut it. This is too much spotlight on an AFC Championship game against a team that offensively can light you up in many ways, They're definitely going to be an interesting, but I'll take the Saints on that one. I'll take that, let's say 28, probably 28-21. I'll say that. There's going to be a lot of touchdowns in this. I don't see a lot of field goals. I feel like Breeze is going to pick them apart. They've really got to put pressures on him, and I don't think they do it. So, yep, here we go. Let's move on here. We got the good old Royal Rumble, WWE here. Monday night, if you've been watching, Monday night, Bobby Lashley won the Intercontinental title. Congratulations to him. I'm telling you, that was a pretty good triple threat match. I actually sat down and watched it. I'll tell you this much. When it comes to pro wrestling nowadays, I usually don't watch SmackDown too often, and I'll watch Raw, but usually it's on Hulu the next day. I don't worry about it. I work late, of course, so do I get to catch the first half? No, I usually wait until the next morning, maybe afternoon. I'll watch that. But Bobby Lashley got the victory over Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. That is really, a positive step, because that's going to help, Lashley keep up there. He'll be a good champion. You'll have Ambrose and you'll have Rollins. They'll be able to feud it out a little bit more. They'll take it a different path and probably lead towards the world title, which now that's changed. Ain't that great? This is where I give my thumbs down for this week. This one, yeah, I would give my middle finger, but I don't feel like offending anybody. Because, you got Brock Lesnar against Finn Balor. Really? Why? According to reports, you listen to, the Wrestling Observer there, they say that this was the plan all along. Does anybody really think that? Does anybody really think that was the plan all along? Wrestling fans are not complete idiots. Because a lot of them, I even get asked, people I know, they'll ask about this other promotion. AEW, All Elite Wrestling. And let me tell you, that right there tells me that they're already hitting the mainstream. And there's a lot of, the hardcore wrestling fans and even some casual fans asking about this. Because it's a big deal. May 25th, they're getting ready to run Double or Nothing. And, if in case you don't know who's behind AEW, it's the same guy, Mr. Khan, same gentleman who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. In case you don't know, that's a billionaire. So you have McMahon versus Khan, billionaire versus billionaire. Yes, McMahon, the genius that knows about professional wrestling, the ins and outs, knows how to run it like a business, like a wrestling company. That's the more important word, wrestling company. Kind of getting away from that a little bit, though. But you look at it, the AEW, people are hyping this up. Cody Rhodes out there, in WWE, they tried to make him Stardust and all this other stuff. They didn't really have a plan for him, It's just like they followed Goldust's lead and said, here, we're going to make you Stardust. And it got over to a point, but not where he is now. Now you're looking at him and, one of the top stars there. And definitely, and this is what's even better. A lot of recruitment going on. Chris Jericho signed a contract over there with the AEW. That right there tells me, yeah, there's going to be some good competition here in 6 months. You look at it. Jericho, they've tried to recruit The Undertaker, right? The Undertaker got paid by Vince. I think it was like $3 million just to go over to Saudi Arabia and have a match for 20 minutes. $3 million. Something like that. Pretty close. High money. And these guys over here in AEW are trying to kick it out to them. I can't blame them. You want to take established stars and mix them in with your new stars. It's what Vince has done now. Vince has taken guys like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and others, and have taken them from, guys over in TNA that they used to be, guys in New Japan, and said, here, we're going to make you a star. We're going to make you a star, and you're going to shine bright. And AJ Styles, to his credit, he has shined well. He really has. He's done a great job. Samoa Joe is a guy, in my opinion, that should have a title. At least, a workers' title, which would be your Intercontinental or United States. At least one of those titles. Personally, he should definitely be a world champion at some point. But nope, they're holding him down for whatever reason. I don't get it. They just do it. So it'll be interesting to see, because a lot of these guys, Kevin Owens, another one, coming back at the Rumble. A lot of people rejecting him to win. That remains to be seen. I'm telling you, the Rumble is so unpredictable. This year is more difficult because I feel like there's not one person who's pushed above everybody else. I feel like right now, all the stars are in championship matches. The only guy that's right here, okay? Right here above the line, above everybody else, is Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, in case you haven't watched, got kicked out of his championship match thanks to Baron Corbin. It was a good storyline. I liked it. They chased him around. Braun Strowman ripped off Vince McMahon's limousine door and broke windows. And, of course, got fined $100,000, fined $100,000 and kicked out of his match with Brock Lesnar for the championship, which he proceeded to flip over the limousine. That was impressive. If you can, look that up. That is definitely something worth watching. It's probably a good minute clip. It's just impressive with the massive strength he has, But, yeah, he's out of it now. That's probably the one guy that I think could win it. I mean, he already won the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. So, could I see him doing more? Yeah, I can see him winning it. Fighting Brock at WrestleMania. That would be a highlight match. That would probably be a great match. And, everybody's always talking about the women's side. Let's talk about that real quick, because women's championship, of course you have Becky Lynch against Asuka. That'll be a great match. Now, I'm looking forward, my projection here as far as WrestleMania goes. If it's me, I would want to almost put champion versus champion. If I had control of the WWE, I would put Asuka against Ronda Rousey. I mean, you're talking the greatest, female fighter there, UFC, Strikeforce, going against Asuka, because nobody beats Asuka. Nobody's ready for Asuka. She has definitely had the undefeated streak of 500 plus wins. Yeah. I mean, it would be a great match to have. I think that would be the best booking. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the WWE and how they do. But I'm going to move on to a interesting, more sadder note, I guess, in some respects. The government shutdown is still going on. Day 26. Day 26. We are on right now. That's a long time. I mean, federal employees right now have lost one check. They're getting ready to lose two. The sad thing is, some people say build the wall. Some people say get an agreement. We need to get this stopped. What do you know about President Trump there? President Trump doesn't really take crap from anyone. He comes out there and he does what he wants, and he's going to do it. He's got his own agenda. He's not going to stray away from, especially that one. I mean, it was in his campaign promise. It was probably why people voted for him. But then on the same token, you look at the people that are suffering. I mean, it's rough. It is a rough situation. Hopefully the Democrats and Republicans can all come together and sing Kumbaya and come up with a plan. But reality, folks, don't look for that anytime soon. It's not going to happen. I got a feeling we're going to be going into this. I might still be talking about this in March. I know. I feel it. I really feel it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. And my final topic. A lot of people know me. They know that I love to do a thing called Cheese Dick Movie Fests. Cheese Dick Movie Fest. Those are one of my favorite things to do, because, it's where you find some really crappy movies. And not necessarily does that qualify as a Cheese Dick movie. Let me break down what that means. Cheese Dick movie basically regards as one that is not really on television, very often. It's very rarely played. It's got a lot of B actors. That's definitely another way of qualifying it. This one here, I figure I'm going to start probably doing this now on out. This one here, I just got done watching this, and I haven't seen this probably since I was a kid. But this movie I'm going to recommend if you want to go watch is called Best of the Best. It's a great martial arts movie. Late 80s. I want to say it was 88, 87, somewhere in that area. But yep, it was definitely one of the classic. What it's about is basically you have the United States karate team. right? And they had to go take on the Korean team. And these 5 guys got selected out of all these people. And James Earl Jones, all-time legendary actor, might have been one of the best, at what his roles were. He was excellent. And this one, he was the U.S. coach. And you had even that guy from Footloose. I still can't remember his name, but yep, the guy from Footloose that played Willard, out there as one of the fighters. And they had to go over there and fight. And there was a backstory on it where you had one of the guys, his brother ended up fighting one of the Koreans over there, in a contest and got killed in the ring by him. So about 10 years later, this guy had to come back and fight him, in his home country. It was definitely one of those ones worth the watch. I would give it probably about a 4 out of 5 stars. I think it was really worth watching. It's rarely on television. It's definitely something that, of course I found it. I'll pay for it if I need to, but I found it on Google. Cost me $2.99. That's fine. I'll watch it. I do that every once in a while. Some movies you can even find on YouTube, just like this channel. It helps out. But, yeah, definitely that's something I recommend. I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching. It really means a lot to me. Today I'm pretty tired. You might be able to tell by the camera. I've, been working kind of, beat up a little bit. But I still wanted to come on here. I wanted to make my video. I know there's probably only about 10 people watching this. Maybe more. It'd be great. So if you 10 people or so can share this so other people can watch, I'd really appreciate it. It really helped me. Like, subscribe. I just want to get my voice out there, and see what I can do. And, hopefully entertain some people. That's why I do this, folks. I love to entertain. So I hope y'all enjoyed. I'm out.